Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Just going live here real quick, 10, 15-minute video to give you guys the details on the Anthony Belton contract. Obviously, they got a deal done preventing him from holding out a training camp. I don't think anybody was truly too worried about that happening, but you never know, especially with the stuff that Shamar Stewart's going through in Cincinnati. Obviously, the Jaden Higgins fully guaranteed contract there, being the first second-round pick to ever be fully guaranteed a contract, I believe, since the new CBA agreement where you have the rookies slotted in. So we're going to cover that, cover the details, maybe go over a quick little recap of the type of player he was in college and give you all that. Now, just want everybody to know we're still going live tonight for PTA Live at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. So if you're new here, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. We're going to be going live pretty much daily during all of Packers training camp. We're also going to be doing watch parties for preseason games, pregame shows, postgame shows, film breakdown, the whole 9 yards. So if you're new here, thank you for making us a part of your day here on this glorious Saturday, July 19th, on the eve of camp coming up. I guess next week, what is it, Wednesday, I believe, we have the first training camp practice for the Packers that is open to the public. So obviously quarterbacks, rookies already in-house, and I'm sure Anthony Belton is in there now getting this contract done. So let's dive into it. Green Bay Packers finalize rookie contract with Anthony Belton, preventing training camp absence. All right, and I see everybody in the chat. Bates, good to see you, buddy. Too old for this. Brambo, thank y'all for swinging through. Just going to be a quick little stream giving you guys these details. So the Green Bay Packers have resolved a key contract issue just before the start of training camp by inking a deal with their second-round draft selection, Anthony Belton, ensuring no holdout occurs. The team made the announcement on Friday. Aaron Wilson over on X, shout out to him at Aaron Wilson_NFL, said the Packers have finalized a deal with second-round pick Anthony Belton per a league source. Deal worth $8.016 million with 2.47. All right, so $2.4 million bonus and 72.95% total guaranteed. You guys know, if you were tuned into PTA, I believe it was Thursday night, we kind of started to project a little bit and try to predict, hey, what range would it be? And we were coming somewhere between 70 and 75% fully guaranteed, right? So that's what they came up with, was 72.9% total guaranteed. A major increase from last year's 61.9% total guarantee at the number 54 overall pick, which was Anthony Belton's pick to the best of my knowledge. So what you're seeing, guys, is as time goes on, the CBA really hindered the rookies from making more money. And it's kind of weird. I remember when this conversation was taking place back before the new CBA, and it's been years ago now. But what you have were veteran players complaining that rookies were making more than a good chunk of the veterans, and they ain't played a snap in the NFL. So you had a little bit of a pushback from the veteran players. Well, obviously the NFL and the NFL owners, they're going to use every bit of negotiating power they can to get as much as they can out of the players. And that's exactly what happened. They said, you know what? We agree. Rookies shouldn't make that much. So now what you have were the players union I'm sure they had to step back like, well, we really screwed the pooch there, because it doesn't mean that your veterans are going to get more money. And I'm sure there was a minute amount of that negotiating power was given over to the veterans in the new CBA, as opposed to giving up a little bit with the rookies. But overall, it kind of feels like the players lost a little bit. And look, I'm not trying to sit here and play the victim card for the rookie players or any pro athlete, but that's the reality of the situation. In my opinion, is they probably should have kept their mouth shut and let the rookies continue to make more money. But what you're seeing now is the rookies got slotted into almost this like limited cap that the rookies could make. And now over time, the players union start to take a little bit of that back, right, with the guaranteed money. So that's essentially what you're seeing here with rookies getting more guaranteed money, as we pointed out here, as Aaron Wilson pointed out. The number 54 pick went from 61% guaranteed last year up to 72% this year with Anthony Belton's contract. So let's talk about what the contract means here. I apologize if you can't see this well enough. I'll try to give you the details. Now, listen, this is on Spot Track. You guys do your own research, and it's kind of early in the process. They've got 2025 somewhat estimated, all right? So the base salary would be $840K, the signing bonus $617,000. Now, keep in mind that he's showing that that's spread out evenly over the duration of the contract, which is a 4-year deal. Obviously, him being a second-round rookie. Now, the cap hit that he's showing, estimated once again, 2025, the cap hit for Anthony Belton is $1.4 million. All right. And dead cap attached 2.4. Obviously, you're not going to move on from him after year one there. 2026, it jumps to 1.8 million. 2027, it jumps to 2.1 million. 2028, it jumps to 2.5 million. I want to pause here for a second. Look at the percentage of the league cap, guys. So a 0.5% of the cap, right? 0.5% of the cap in 2025 is Anthony Belton's allocated for. It jumps to 0.59% in 2026, 0.65% in 27, and 0.69% in 2028. Now, what does that mean? For me, tackle is a premier position, right? It's what we call a tier one position of importance here at PTA. So obviously you have Zach Tom, who's up for a big contract, right? Well, Rasheed Walker's up for a contract as well. Now listen, Rasheed Walker, one of the best pass blocking tackles in the NFL right now. The problem is the run blocking is a little bit suspect, right? Whereas the kids would say sus. So when you look at that, it's like, okay, do you want to pay Rasheed Walker top tackle money? No, you don't want to do that. And the reason being is because he's not as well-rounded a player as, say, a Zach Tom. And you can't pay everybody on that offensive line. Elgton Jenkins getting paid top dollar right now for the most part. I mean, I don't say top dollar, but he's getting paid starter money, right? You just signed Aaron Banks in free agency, who we've got high hopes for there at the left guard position, and that allowed you to free up Elgton Jenkins to kick over to center. But Zach Tom's the guy you want to overpay for, right? You'll always overpay for great. You never overpay for good. Rasheed Walker, to me, falls in that good category, right? Maybe even very good. But I wouldn't say great simply because he's lacking in a little bit of run block, right? So with that being said, what does this Anthony Belton draft pick and signing do for you? What if they hit on Anthony Belton? And I see some people are like, you need to lock up Rasheed Walker because there's no guarantee Anthony Belton's going to be that good. I completely agree. There's never any guarantee. However, when you look at Anthony Belton and where he was drafted in the second round, guys, we got Zach Tom in the fourth round. We got Rasheed Walker in the seventh round, right? So that tells you that Goody and his whole staff, and I'm sure Matt LaFleur as well, helped probably watch the tape and kind of cipher through some of these offensive line prospects that they were looking to potentially draft here in 2025. You got to look up and go, they've got higher hopes for Anthony Belton than they ever did for Rasheed Walker, right? Now, there's going to be some people who go, Clayton, he's not going to play left tackle, is he? He played left tackle his entire career in college, all right? So that's worth noting. However, I don't think that's the plan for Anthony Belton. To me, it feels like they're going to give Jordan Morgan a shot to unseat Rasheed Walker at left tackle in camp. I personally don't think it'll happen. I hope it doesn't happen. I'm going to explain why. I think you get him a good look there, and they can kind of gauge, all right, where is Jordan Morgan in terms of playing left tackle, comparatively speaking, to Rasheed Walker? And we're going to get back to Belton here in a minute. Let's say he doesn't beat Rasheed Walker out for left tackle, but they say, you know what? Jordan Morgan is our left tackle of the future. Well, obviously, Anthony Belton's getting cross-trained right now to play right guard, okay? Now, I think he'll still get cross-trained to play tackle as well. It's not like they're just going to settle him in at right guard. But to get Jordan Morgan at left tackle reps in camp, you get a good gauge of where he and Rasheed Walker's at. Now, there's a chance he beats Rasheed Walker out for left tackle, absolutely. However, to get your best five on the field, for me personally, I think it's going to be Rasheed Walker left tackle. It's going to be Aaron Banks left guard. It'll be Elgton Jenkins center. I think they'll want to start Jordan Morgan at right guard, obviously Zach Tom at right tackle. Now, why do I mention that? Look at these cap hits. Would you rather pay Rasheed Walker 15 to 25 million per, right? And maybe you can get him for 10. I don't know. Let's just say 15 to 25 million per. Would you rather pay him that at left tackle? Now you're paying four guys at the offensive line top money, starter money, or would you rather let Rasheed Walker walk into free agency, pick up a comp pick, probably a third-round pick, depending on how much money he gets and what you get in return there in terms of your free agent signings? Do you go that route, let him walk, pick up a comp pick, kick Jordan Morgan over to left tackle with his rookie contract, and now you put Anthony Belton starting at right guard, whether Sean Ryan's here or not? So you see what Goody's done is he's covered the bases for 2026. Imagine this. Jordan Morgan, rookie, cheap contract, comparatively speaking across the league at left tackle. And now you got Anthony Belton at $1.8 million cap hit at right guard. That might give you the flexibility you need to keep Elgton Jenkins around for a year or two if you decide to go that route. Not to say Jacob Monk might step into that role. Who knows, right? But with that being said, you give yourself a lot of options and you give yourself a lot of flexibility. And what it allows you to do is you can play a little bit of hardball with Rasheed Walker. And this is the nature of the business, man. It's show, it's not show friends, it's show business, right? If you approach it that way and you tick Rasheed Walker off and he decides, you know what, I ain't signing here. I'm just going to hit free agency next year. They're not going to franchise tag me. I'll get a good jump at the market. All right, cool. You've got the maneuverability now with Jordan Morgan and Anthony Belton kind of lying in the way there. So that makes sense. But Belton arrived at camp alongside the other rookies on Friday and was the final member of the Packers 2025 draft group to put pen to paper on his rookie agreement. This year's second-round draftees league-wide faced delays in signing due to a precedent set by the Houston Texans, who offered Jaden Higgins a completely guaranteed 4-year contract, a first in NFL history. That move sparked negotiation standoffs with many second-rounders pushing for higher guaranteed money, or amounts, I should say, and some even seeking to replicate Higgins' full guarantee. It's funny, man. He signed that fully guaranteed contract, and everybody went, whoa, whoa, whoa. All the agents said, stop, hold. I guarantee you everybody was phone was ringing, going, don't sign, don't sign, don't sign. Let's see if we can get some more guaranteed money. So if you disagree with the second-round picks getting this kind of guaranteed money, blame Houston. They started this whole thing. All right, it's worth mentioning. So with that being said, let's move it along here. Selected 54th overall from North Carolina State, Belton brings versatility to the offensive line. By signing on Friday, he avoids missing any camp sessions. Just 2 days ago on Wednesday, a mere 2 out of the 32 second-round picks had finalized their contracts. With camps approaching, however, a wave of agreements has emerged. Several players drafted around Belton, both earlier and later, have now signed, which probably aided in reaching a compromise on guarantees between the Packers and Belton's camp. You guys know the other night we talked about this on PTA. Listen, nothing. I said if he's not signed by Wednesday of next week, then I'll be worried, right? So we got it done way early, and now he's in there with the rookies. I think this is great news for sure. So when you look at his PFF success, now listen, again, I'm always going to use this full disclosure or disclaimer, I should say. People, you're going to get tired of hearing me say it. I'm always going to say it. I don't believe PFF is the gospel. I don't believe it's the tell-all, be-all. This is, hey, take this to the bank. It's just another metric we can use. And the fact that somebody is supposedly watching the tape in college, I think that's a valuable tool. Them watching the tape, here were his PFF grades in college. As a backup, 74.8 his freshman year, okay? In 2022, he takes over as a starter, 64.2. In 2023, 65.9. So you see an improvement, right? In 2024, 73.6. What you're seeing is an ascending player, a player that's getting better every year as he's entering the league. And obviously, they call him Big Escalade for a reason. 6'6", 336 pounds. You've seen them sign Aaron Banks in free agency from the San Francisco 49ers, an absolute hoss cat. So they're going bigger on the offensive line. I don't think that is a coincidence, seeing that they ran so much duo last year, which is just kind of this vertical power, right? It's vertical power. You're not skipping a gap. It's double vertical power. So you're looking to get these big hog mollies that can move down the field, block down on the backers, block down on the safeties. And what this does, guys, is it's kind of a link. It's an extension of a zone blocking run game, right? Because duo is zone blocking essentially. So that being said, I like the fact that he's ascending coming into the league. And also look at the pass block grade last year, guys. 87.3 pass block grade with a 69.4 run block grade. All right, so just wanted to throw that out there. So during practices, Belton is slated to work at both tackle and guard positions. He might vie for the starting right guard spot and could prove to be a crucial backup tackle in his debut season. So again, the only way I think he beats out Jordan Morgan at right guard is if Jordan Morgan beats out Rasheed Walker at left tackle. So essentially what you've got is, let's say that happens. Let's say Jordan Morgan beats Rasheed Walker out for left tackle. Now Rasheed Walker becomes your swing tackle, and you're looking for our boy Anthony Belton to be able to step in at right guard. Okay, I don't see a scenario where they would try to play Rasheed Walker at right guard at all. So if that happens, what's going to happen is Jordan Morgan's going to be your starting left tackle. Rasheed Walker will be your backup swing tackle. Hopefully Anthony Belton can win the right guard spot over Sean Ryan at that point, and Sean Ryan becomes your swing guard. You got Jacob Monk as a backup center. Sean Ryan can play backup center. If you don't like either of those guys, guess what? Zach Tom can kick into center. This is in case something happens to Elton and he were to get hurt. I know people don't like to talk about potential injuries. Guys, you got to be prepared. Yeah, I know we're not running the team here. I'm probably a little bit of an overreaction, but it's like that's how the team looks at it is, all right, if the center goes, I guarantee you they're having these conversations in-house. They're not going, no, don't talk about potential injuries. We're going to curse ourselves. That ain't how it works. They're looking for the backup plan to the backup plan to the backup plan, right? So what you've done is exactly what we hope they would do immediately following the Eagles game, right? We talked about, why did the Eagles beat you? The Eagles beat you because you weren't strong enough up front. Their defensive front overpowered your offense. You played pretty damn well defensively against the Eagles offense. And it's not just about beating the Eagles. However, that was the team that knocked you out. You got to kind of sit back, reevaluate, and go, okay, what were we missing in 2024? That was it, in my opinion. So what'd you do? You went and got Aaron Banks. You drafted Anthony Belton. You beefed up the offensive line just a touch, right? So I think you put yourself in a better situation to compete with teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, should it come down to that again this year. So just something worth mentioning right there as well. With that being said, that's the Anthony Belton contract. Again, cap hit wise, this year 1.4 estimated, next year 1.8 million, 2027 2.1 million, 2028 2.5 million, and hopefully going into the 2028 season, we're having a conversation about Anthony Belton that we're having about Zach Tom right now, going, got to get this guy paid. He's an absolute stud, right? If that's the case, you're going to keep this rotation of 2 to 3 offensive linemen getting paid starter money year in and year out in Green Bay, if that makes sense. So sorry to neglect the chat here, guys. Just want to get this video out to everybody. I was just going to record a video and post it on YouTube, but I thought, you know what? Let's just jump in here and do a live stream real quick. That way everybody can get it in real time. And I got to be honest with you. I've had people ask me, like, why do you go live, man? Does that make you nervous? Yeah, everybody gets nervous when they're standing in front of, or they're sitting in front of a camera, and you got a self-image this big, which is me, man. I got the lowest self-image in the world. But I'll tell you, there's something about you going live that just kind of makes you be real. You can't be fake. You can't try to edit stuff. You can just be yourself, get in here, talk ball, and I love seeing the chat going off too, man. It helps to know other people's opinions. So thank y'all so much for joining me here. I see, like I said, just quick shout out to everybody. 2-0 for this. Elijah Gwynn, Mike Berry, Joshua Lanningham. 2-0 for this. DJ Daffy, what's up, man? Brambo, Todd, we got every Green Ranger in the house throwing the deuces. Appreciate you, buddy. United Bates in here as well. So thank y'all for hopping on. We'll be back tonight at 6:30 p.m. Central Time for PTA Live. We're going to give you guys a huge training camp preview. Just put a couple of new articles out on our Patreon group. Make sure you check that out. The best way to support what we do here at PTA, you got 2 avenues. If you're familiar with Patreon, join our Patreon group, patreon.com/PackerFan Total Access. If you're not familiar with Patreon, you just use YouTube. See that join tab right below the video. Click that and join the PTA posse. And what we'll do is get you entered into our giveaways, things like that, a way for us to give back to those who are supporting the channel. And also make sure you click that bell notification tab, ring the bell, whatever you want to call it, smash the like button, all that stuff. That way you know when we go live like this. It's training camp season, guys. There's going to be random days where it's going to be 11 a.m. You're going to go, oh, crap, PTA's live, because you got the notification. Because you never know what's going to happen in camp, and we're going to be bringing you live updates from that. We'll have Tim boots on the ground in Green Bay at camp throughout the whole training camp process as well. So appreciate everybody. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you tonight, 6:30 p.m. Central Time for PTA Live. Everybody take care. God bless.
Here we go. We're out.
Bye, guys.